Oh man, this is definitely not like a Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of twins situation. This is much more like a Uncle Jesse mixed up the twins on Full House and needed Aunt Becky's help to figure out which one was which. Have mercy, Hasbro. Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome to Disavowed Action Figures. Bringing you another action figure review today, this time taking a closer look at the G.I. Joe classified Tomax and Xamot action figures. Very excited to have these in the collection. Up front, do not go running out to your local Target or your Walmart quite yet, as I did pick these up at CMD store on their online store. So again, not quite yet at those big box locations. However, very excited to get these in hand, take a close look at them, talk a little bit about the characters, what I dug about them back in the 1980s as a kid, what I dig about them now, and basically how good the action figures actually are. Let's take a closer look at the packaging, and then we'll kind of go on from there. So taking a closer look at the packaging, as you can see here, these are G.I. Joe classified number 44 and number 45 in the ongoing line of the Crimson Twins, or the Crimson Guard Commanders, whatever you like to call them. Here on the side art, we do get a Cobra logo, which meets in the middle, as they are twins. We'll talk more about this as the review goes on, but they are essentially mirror images of each other, with just some subtle differences to the facial structure. These are two key characters from the G.I. Joe cartoon back in the 1980s. Loved back in 1985 watching this show. For whatever reason, when I look back on that nostalgia, these are the two Cobra figures I always picture in my head, the two characters I really enjoyed. Now, whether it was their ability to both basically finish each other's sentences, or that really cool way how you'd punch one of them and the other one would feel it and fall over. Absolutely love these characters on the cartoon, so very much enjoyed getting these in the collection. From the beginning, I kind of said these are the ones I wanted most back when G.I. Joe Classified were announced. So I'll try to be as impartial as I can, but I might be a little bit biased because I wanted these characters so badly in action figure in this action figure line, G.I. Joe Classified. I might be a little bit too kind to them. I'll try to avoid that as best I can. Important to note that they were part of extensive enterprises, as they were basically soldiers of fortune, assassins for hire, till they joined Cobra, where they basically ran the day-to-day for Cobra at their Shell Corporation daily business, whatever it might have been. Essentially, supposedly in the show, it was impossible to prove that this was actually Cobra's business. One thing I will say out front as well, I do feel this probably should have been a two-pack, but I'm very convinced that in the future that we very well might get these in a two-pack, but instead of getting them in this form, we'll get them in their actual suits, as you can see on the side right there, which opens up a lot of doors for us as collectors. Gives us two more suited bodies to use across all the Hasbro lines, as well as giving us a different opportunity to display these figures on our shelves in their day-to-day outfits when they're not out doing, Cobra things. There's a look at the back of the packaging. It is that great new kind of poster we get from the most recent collections and releases here in G.I. Joe Classified. But that's enough looking at the packaging. Let's rip these guys open, take a close look at how they move, and talk more about them. And here are the twins out of the packaging. Each one does come with the same 5 accessories, which we'll go over momentarily. They look great together. As I said, I can't speak on the actual quality of the figures quite yet, but how they look together is amazing. I won't understate the fact that a lot of G.I. Joe Classified fans were let down by the fact that these were not in a 2-pack. I really hope people who are looking for them at retail can find both. It would obviously be kind of pointless to buy one and not the other. But let's take a close look at each of the 5 accessories that come with these, and then we'll take a close look at the figures. All right, so to start, each of the figures does come with 2 of basically the same blade, as you can see right here. Very much kind of a snake-looking blade as it is sort of curved, as you can see. But here's a look at the second one as well. There will be storage to put the blades in on the leg and on the hip, which we'll take a closer look at in a little while. In addition to that, I know I said 5 accessories, but it's kind of like they all go to the gun. So you do get the clip. Again, shout out to Bobby Valla at Valaverse, as he did first have those removable clips. But then you also have the suppressor or the silencer, whatever it is you want to call it, that everything kind of does go in here with the gun. I'm not a gun guy, you know that, but it's a gun. It's what it is, right? But it does look cool. I do like how they did give you the suppressor or or the silencer. I'm not quite sure what the actual correct topic would be. Let me know in the comments down below the correct terminology for that. I feel free to be educated there. But each one does come with these. So you basically get the knives and the gun. The gun's not going to have storage. Just basically going to have him hold that, which we'll talk more about when we look at his hands. But again, same accessories with both figures. And as I mentioned, the storage, you can see each knife will sheath in both down here on the boot and on the hip. And I also wanted to show this. This is from the Bobby Valaverse Weapons Pack Alpha. Compliments of hard-to-find toys. Thank you to them for sending these to me a ways back. But those Bobby Valaverse blast effects will fit right into the gun. It's not the tightest fit. It won't fall out when you hold it upside down or anything, but just be careful. It's not going to click in or anything. That could potentially fall out. But then you can just essentially have him holding the weapon in his hand, which we will talk more about when we get to the actual articulation and such of the figure, as he does have both double trigger fingers going on right there. All right, so closer look at just the actual overall aesthetics of the figure. The head sculpts are great. I really like those. You can see here we do have the scar right there, and the scar is going to be Xamot. So that's how you're going to be able to tell them apart. As I mentioned earlier in the cold opening joke, we're not going to have an Uncle Jesse, Aunt Becky, Full House moment. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about right there, showing my age. But Xamot does have the scar. Tomax does not. The Cobra logo came out good right here. We do have the sash that goes all the way around. The sash is removable if you want to take it off. I'm not going to mess around with that. The shoulder pieces flip right up. You see they're very soft, not an issue. They are going to be pinless, which we'll talk more about in the articulation section. You do get the thigh pads that do have the Cobra logo, the matching red throughout that go with the Cobra logo. Again, very clean look to it overall, as G.I. Joe Classified really has been known to do. Some nice folds going on down here in the legs, and we already showed and talked about the different sections to put the storage for the actual weapons. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet, also continuing that red color down below. And we do get different pieces here on each of the wrists. These do somewhat encumber the articulation, which I'll show you momentarily. But you will notice with the figures, this is basically like a person looking in a mirror. As I said, it's like they're mirrored. So everything is going to essentially be opposite. So you'll notice right here, taking a look at the two of them together, that they do have the shoulder pads, each on different sides. They do have the Cobra logo, each on different sides. So basically everything is like you're looking in a mirror, and it's reversed for the other guy, which is a kind of nice touch. Even the little neck piece here, as you can see, both on the opposite shoulders from one another. So pretty cool. They did maintain that mirror image of the two twins, which does go very accurately with the cartoon. And even taking a closer look right here, you can actually see fangs here on the, I guess you call it crotch piece. And also we did get some nice painting going on here on the gray belt or silver belt, as well as some red going on back here. So they did a nice job kind of mixing this up. Again, you can see back here in the back of the boots. So yeah, they definitely mixed some color in on these guys, which is much appreciated. And as far as articulation is concerned, the head will rotate all the way around. This will not really encumber it. It's far enough on the outside. Looking back, not very far looking back. Looking down, again, not very far. You will get a little bit of pivot here at the head, which I always appreciate with these figures more than anything. Actually, there, we get more down going on, so you can kind of see you have to kind of work it a little bit. The head is rather stiff, which I'm not used to seeing, but it will also, as I said, go all the way around. As far as the arms, will go very far up. That shoulder piece does not really get in the way. It will rotate all the way around. Just be careful. That is connected there, but you don't take any chances. Upper bicep swivel. These are pinless. Which again, great job by Hasbro bringing that pinless technology. So the pinless elbow will go very far, as you can see right there. I will go down. The hands, I took this piece off, okay? I took the wrist piece off. Both hands do have the articulation up and down, but you get very little play because of that piece right there and then this black piece. You could take those off, but honestly, I don't like the way it looks without them on there. I just took this off to kind of show you that you do get that articulation going on right there. Hand will rotate all the way around, obviously, as well. As far as the torso, it will look down about that far. It'll look back very far as well. They are kind of gymnasts, right? About that far back. Obviously, a little bit of rocker there, not too much. I think it's really meant to do a whole lot. You do get the cut right here in the waist as well. You can see that kind of rotates around. There are drop down legs on these guys, which is always great. So drop down leg about that far up, drop down leg about that far back, popping that back up. There is an upper thigh cut going on right there. There's also a boot cut going on right there. Toes will go down relatively far, as you can see. I don't want to force it too far right there. As far as how far up, not as far up. It is on a rocker, which at this point you would expect in all of these figures. So again, articulation, pretty standard for G.I. Joe Classified. Also, it does have the butterfly, but it's not a crazy butterfly. As I said, you're not getting like Deadpool, Sony, or Spider-Man, Black Suit Spider-Man sorts of articulation on those shoulders, but it still does the trick overall. Not too bad. As far as the double jointed knee, he will kick very far up as well, almost into his own butt. And that is also pinless. So pinless knees, pinless elbows, can't go wrong there. As I always just do say, be careful with these drop down legs. I just personally don't trust them very much. Just showing you really quickly as well, he will hold the gun well, right there in the hand. You can see holds it relatively well. I really like that blast effect right there from that Valaverse pack. Also holding the knife relatively well. So putting them both here on the stand, holding their weapons, they look great together. I like these figures a lot. As I said earlier, I might be a little bit biased, unfortunately, because I wanted them so badly. But I think they look great, and they look really cool on the shelf. So let's do some comparisons, shall we? So sticking with G.I. Joe Classified first for comparisons, here they are standing with the Destro and the Zartan, their fellow Cobra allies. Here are the Crimson Twins, standing with one of my favorite G.I. Joe Classifieds of all time, the Cobra Island exclusive Target Major Blood and the Cobra Island Target exclusive Baroness. So just kind of give you an idea how it looks when they're standing with a female figure. Some more Cobra G.I. Joe Classified comparisons. Here is how the Crimson Twins do scale and stand with the G.I. Joe Classified Bat and Alley Viper, two of the most popular army builders to date in this wave. As you can see, the Bat does seem to be a little bit taller, but they do scale rather well on your Cobra shelf. And some more Cobra figures. Here they are standing with the G.I. Joe Classified Storm Shadow and also the Target exclusive Viper Army Builder. And I don't know. There must have been something wrong with me as a kid. I'm looking back at it. I think I was Team Cobra, even back in the 1980s. What was wrong with me? All right, and I just caught myself. If I didn't stop now, I would probably compare them to every single Cobra figure on my shelf. So just to mix it up a little bit, our last look at military-based figure comparisons. Here are the Bobby Valaverse Action Force Sergeant Slaughter version 1, and also the Bone Collector standing here with them. So as you can see, as you already know, the Valaverse Action Force and the G.I. Joe Classified look great together. Here are the twins standing with the brand new Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Peter Parker Spider-Man from the 2-pack with Spinneret, and also the Feral Cheetah from over there at the Plunderlings line. As I had to back the camera back a little bit, here's a look at how the twins do scale with some Neca offerings. The Tmnt Raphael in Disguise that came with the Casey Jones, and of course our Frankie Frankenstein. We're getting closer to spooky season. If you like Halloween, check out Disavowed_12 or at Instagram, or here on YouTube. We did some Halloween haunt hunts at Halloween Spirit, Lowe's, and some other Halloween stores. And last, but of course not least, here are the twins standing with our DC Multiverse McFarlane Lobo Big Mother Fragger figure, and of course, too cool for school, Jazzwares AEW Orange Cassidy. And I don't know if Orange could tell these guys apart or not, but something tells me he'd probably enjoy hanging out with Uncle Jesse on Full House. All right, so my closing thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Crimson Twins, Xamot and Tomax figures. I like these guys a lot. If you are a G.I. Joe Classified collector, you're going to definitely need them in your collection, as they are very much iconic Cobra members in their army. They came out really good. They're not spectacular by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing, mind-altering or breaking here. You're going to get basically what you'd expect from the G.I. Joe Classified line in terms of articulation. Yes, this would have been cool as a 2-pack. Yes, I really hope all you collectors can find one of each of these without going too crazy. Hopefully distribution is rather strong with these figures. Again, I did not get mine at Target or Walmart, so just kind of pump the brakes running out. Watch your local toy hunter and see when they start finding them on the shelves before you get out there and look. But overall, very good offerings by G.I. Joe Classified. Happy to have them in my collection. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you, doesn't cost you anything, helps us grow the channel tremendously. It really helps out a lot, and it's free, so please hit that sub button. Hit that bell for notifications. That way YouTube actually will tell you when we post new content here on the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and for daily toy content and daily toy updates, check us out over at Instagram and Twitter at Disavowed_12. Hey everybody, if you're going toy hunting this week, please try to remember the 3 P's of the toy hunt. Patience, persistence, but most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.